Hey folks, this is your boy Mudiyanse, and you are watching Channa 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 podcast.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of my podcast. We have a very special guest today, all the way from Sri Lanka. We got one of the OG rappers of Sri Lanka. We have Mudiyanse Vinod Attanayake. Hi Vinod.
Hi, how are you, Channa?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm feeling great today because I'm excited. This is like the first time I'm doing such a sort of a video over the internet.
Right.
So I'm so excited, and I'm excited to talk to you as well.
Right. So Vinod, how's the situation in Sri Lanka these days?
Well, situation. Well, I won't say it's very scary. I feel it's somewhat under control. But as citizens, there is a huge part for us to do. I mean, as you know, responsible citizens, because we are all part of it, Channa, and there's no option that we have to live with this.
Right.
So, so since we don't have any option, we have to, live with it, and there is a huge responsibility in terms of citizens. In terms of wearing a simple mask, having social distance. So these are the simple things that, the people can do. So if all of us can contribute in a very in a simple and a small way, I think we can contain this. So it's up to the citizens or the people to decide the situation,
Right.
The people can make it worse, or people can contribute and can come or contribute to come out of it. Simple as that, Channa.
Yeah.
So I think the authorities are working pretty hard. So I mean, there are so many ups and downs because you have to understand, China is a small country,
Right.
and we are a very small country compared to the big countries. So I think it is under control, but I think it's up to the people to decide, to contain it or to make it worse.
Yeah. So it's actually a personal. There is a big personal responsibility behind that, right? You have to take responsibility.
Exactly.
Yeah. I know even.
How is it over there, Channa?
I think it's.
How is it over there, if I may ask?
Yes, I think we have a lot of cases here. We have like 100,000 cases of COVID. We've been in lockdown for last 7 months. So although I mean we've been working from home and we have been stuck at home. At least what I realized from the COVID thing is that how important the family is. Spending time with the family and those things. So it's not all bad. But
Yeah.
but I would like to go back to going to concerts and going out for a run and all that. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Back to the normal life.
yeah. But I don't know after this what would be considered normal, right?
Exactly. You have to find a way to live with it.
Right.
And so either you work from home or you may be a musician. You can do your whatever the music work that you do outside. Maybe you can bring it to your studio, and there are so many things. There are so many positive things that you can do even staying at home.
Right.
And it's a good opportunity to stay with your family. That's one positive side of it, and you get the time to spend with your family a lot, which we really don't get because we stay, at work or outside home. So, for some it's a bad situation, but for some there is positive as well, Channa.
Yeah. So I grew up in Negombo, Sri Lanka. So I moved here like 15 years ago. I remember like in the late 90s and sort of early 2000s, there was this hip hop and rap sort of bands, musicians were coming up. Like I remember like Bhatia and Six Lane and all these guys. And we had also like Chinti coming from Nigambo. We had Chinti later
Yeah,
on. I got to know you is that there was this video that somebody put out. I think it was Wagmi probably. They put out this evolution of Sri Lankan hip hop, and then your
yeah,
performance, that the famous 2004 performance, was part of that video.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Uh, can you tell me a little bit about your childhood, and then how do you get into this introducing to music?
Yeah. Okay. Right. You were referring, I think, about my 2004 performance, Sihasuna Matha.
Right.
But as you asked, let me tell you a little bit about my childhood, as how I got into music world.
Mm.
And well, tell you frankly, I was very much a very active member of the Interact society. Back in the days in school, Interact was the thing. You know,
Right.
you be in Interact, and it was a thing back in the days. And the fun part of being in Interact is that you get the chance to go for all these musical shows, because back in the late 90s, I would say 97, 98, 99, 2000s,
Right.
there were music competitions, talent shows every week. And every school or the Interact Club, it was like a competition. It was like the thing in Kandy. As you know, I grew up in Kandy. I went to St. Anthony's College, Katugastaka. And you be in Interact, and you get the chance to involve in all these activities. You go to these musical shows, and you have that, you know, the desire to perform, right? Because you see all the youngsters performing with the very less technology we had, but it was the thing back in the days, Channa. So I, as a kid, I had the desire to go up on stage and perform, because I love music. Uh, from small days, I can remember my father used to play music very loudly. We had this huge setup. You know, back in the days, there was these huge
Right.
buffers you call speakers made in wood, which are very heavy, but those are really powerful. So I can remember I listened to these songs because my father was a true lover of music, and I had that environment in my house where music was, you know, played from morning to evening. And so coming back to the Interact, I was very active in the Interact society, and I got the chance to be the Interact president and so forth. So from early days, I got the chance to perform on stage, Channa. So there was a time. Hope you can remember, Channa, about Showboat Carlsberg Karaoke Championship. It was like uh, um, it was actually one of the, I think, I cannot recall any big competitions. It
Right.
was one of the biggest competitions that was there back in the days in 2000s. If you can remember, Bhatia Santos performing this showboat championship, and they won it.
Right.
And after that, it was Dushanta who won it. So so they decided Showboat Carlsberg Karaoke Championship. They decided to come to Kandy and host the regional competition, and I happened to take part of it.
Right.
And I won this competition, uh, which was like the turning point of my music career. It was back then I decided that I want to take this a little bit serious and get into do original songs. I can remember the night I won the competition. Bhatia Santos was there, and I got the chance to talk to them. And so I slowly decided to do this music business a little bit serious, and that's when I decided to do original music, Channa. So that's how all this started, Channa.
Right. So what are your like? What were your like favorite music back then? What bands and
Uh,
artists?
Back in the days, we had very limited access to rap music. Tell you frankly,
Yeah.
um, uh, I can remember because before CDs were introduced, Channa, we were used to listen to music from cassettes,
Right.
and I can remember waiting for all these countdowns on these famous channels to listen to the latest, because back in the days there were no internet. So so my first actually inspiration didn't come from rap. In fact, Chana, it came from Michael Jackson.
Right.
And I think most of the artists were inspired by Michael Jackson, uh, because it was that performance, that music, and he got it all. And I think most of the artists in Sri Lanka and worldwide was inspired by Michael Jackson,
Yes.
very especially the performance. And to tell you frankly, before coming into singing or rapping, I was a dancer. Because back in the school days we had dancing groups,
Right.
and we had a pack where we used to dance. But I gave up on that and took off rapping and music. So my first inspiration came from Michael Jackson, and we had very limited access back in the days. I think before Eminem was introduced in 2000s or 99, if I can remember, it was in 95. It was Tupac and and Will Smith and Puff Daddy. Those were my idols back in the days. But slowly came Eminem and 50 Cents, and I was exposed to West Coast, East Coast rapping styles. But I can remember I want to do this because I started rapping in English in the early days when I was schooling. But I want to do something very unique, Channa. Then I decided I want to write in Sinhala and start rapping in Sinhalese.
Right.
So this is, I'm talking about in 99, 2000s, 2001. Uh, there were no much of Sinhala rappers.
Right.
I can remember Bhatia used to rap uh, bit of a reggae style,
Right.
and there was Randir who was doing really good, but he used to rap in English. So I want to do something really different, and I want to do rap in Sinhalese. So that's how I started the whole thing.
Right. So writing this, I mean, it is a challenge writing single rap songs, right? Because you have to compare to writing in English. I feel that. So how was that writing process? What was the first song you wrote? Oh,
Well, okay. So I will tell you a little bit after my school days. After I decided to do original music, so I decided doing, as you correctly said, this was something totally new, because this is something that nobody has done before, China. So you have to invent it. So there were a lot of struggles. I really sucked. I was really bad rapping in single in my early days.
right.
My lyrics was horrible, and luckily I got the chance to meet a friend of mine called Ranga Jagoda, who is actually the composer, producer of most of my songs, like Mang Thani and everything, Sihasuna Matha, or you call it Asaw Asaw. So he was a great, and he was a very strict composer. He didn't compose tracks for many people. He composed tracks for very limited artists. So I got the chance to work with him from 2002, and I'm working with him up to date. So he was a very strict guy, and I can remember when I started coming to the studio, uh, I used to travel to Colombo every weekend to meet Ranga to get my tracks composed. And every week I used to write something and, perform and start recording during the weekend. And every time I go to the mic, he start yelling and he start shouting at me, because he was a very strict guy those days. I was a young kid, and he said, "Macha, meka nang hariyanne. Meka nang, this is," he called, "This is shit, macha. Me mokadda me." E wage, like, those are the simple words he said. I was disappointed because you write something from your home and you come to Colombo all the way from Kandy to record it, and this is what you hear from your producer. But it was the motivation for me to write and come to a perfection point. This process went for about, I think for about 3-4 years, until 2003, 2004, I wrote Sihasuna Matha. I can remember I wrote that songs for about 6 months, and I had to rewrite about, I think about 20 to 30 times to come into perfection. So writing in Sinhala those days, it was a difficult task. Because you hardly had that, you hardly had the chance to, look after for someone, because you get all the English rappers, but there were hardly any Sinhala rappers out there. So you had to really invent it. So it was really hard, but now I think it has come to a point that Sinhala rapping is just as good as English rapping. Because in Sinhala, there is so much of vocabulary and there are so many styles, and it's a beautiful language, Channa. So you can twist it, you can do various styles. And so now we have come to a point that we have mastered this. So yeah, that's it.
So can you tell me this famous performance of 2004? What was that? It's a company event or something, or what was that?
Yeah, it's an event. I'm actually working for a private bank, Channa. For the past 18 years, I've been working for this bank. So every 3 years, we have this talent search or a talent event where all the employees get together. They perform dramas, they perform, instrumentals, they sing. So it's a big event. We had this. So I joined the bank in 2002, and back in the days, I used to work at the Peradeniya branch. So this 2004 famous performance was at BMICH. I performed there, and it was one of my greatest performances, Channa, because as a young artist, I was so powerful, I was so energetic, and for the crowd, it was something out of the blue, because they have not heard something like this ever. So the support I got from the crowd, it was an incredible experience, and I performed with the crowd. And I think up to now, I mean, most of the people can remember that performance, and still people are after 16 years, people still can recall it.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud and so happy for that performance. Yeah, I think that was like the point that people really got to know me from that performance, Sihasuna Matha.
So the organizers knew what you're going to do on that day, or it was a surprise.
Not really. We had a lot of rehearsals, but not in large audience. So we had few rehearsals. But I don't know. I really didn't plan the performance. Tell you honestly, Shan, it really came instantly, and because, tell you frankly, I told you I won this competition called Carlsberg Showboat Carry Quick Championship in 2000. And the fact that I won the competition was simply because of my performance. And that was one of my key elements in, stage performance, the showmanship.
Right.
So it was there in my, in my blood. So it was never planned, but it was a super performance. I mean, one of the most memorable performance in my life.
Yeah, because one thing I really liked about that song is you had very, you had a sort of a Bhangra style sort of thing, and then
Exactly,
in the
exactly.
middle you
I mean,
started.
full credit should go to Ranga Jagoda. He's the one who composed the song, and you know, it was that unique style or the rhythm which made me write the lyrics to it, Channa. So a big thank you to Ranga for making a superb track. The track is in that song is the most key element. I mean, if not for that track, I will not write those lyrics, those powerful lyrics, which had a very powerful storyline. And so, big shout to Ranga.
Right. So later on, you actually did a proper music video and you released it as Mudiyanse, right? So why choose the name Mudiyanse?
Uh, well, in fact, Mudiyanse is part of my name also. It's Attanayake, Mudiyanse AKA Vinod Attanayake. And
Right.
for many years, I've been I've been searching for a name, for a stage name, Channa. Uh, because it's somewhat easy to brand yourself and put it in the audience if you have a catchy name. So usually rappers use, really West Coast, East Coast names, really hip names. But I was not into that type of, my songs are not really, into that, caliber. So I wanted to find a word which is really local. And I was trying so many names, Channa. Uh, well, for few years, I have given up on the music a little bit. But after the lockdown in, I think this year, uh, that is in March and April, I really got the chance to sit down and think about, rethink about my music career. So that's when I realized I should do a song. That's where the song came, Gedurtavela Hitaham. And I wanted to have a unique name also. So that's how the name came up, because it was there in my name. So I thought of, why not use Mudiyanse? And this beautiful, as you can see, this beautiful logo was created by my brother-in-law, Tizal. He's a talented designer.
Right.
So yes, so that's how Mu or Mudiyanse came into life.
Right.
Because you need it. I mean, uh, I know for a rapper, you need a. I mean, to take it up to the world, to brand yourself. It's somewhat easy and it's somewhat effective when you have a unique name, Channa.
Right. So I remember that the Sihasuna Matha, the video, it was really nice. You had like kids doing the chorus, and you had
Yeah,
like Ananda Vikramage, I think, on the as a
yeah,
character as well, right? So it was a really nice video.
yeah. It was a great experience. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, I know that you actually won an award for the best hip hop song or rap song in, when was that? That was
That was in 2010 on Derana Music Video Awards. I
right.
think that is like the only music video awards that is there in Sri Lanka. So I really never thought I will receive this award. I was invited to come for the show, come for the music awards, but I was never informed that I will receive an award
Right.
because it's been decided by a panel of judges. It's not through SMS or voting. So I won this award for the song "Mang Pani Naviding," which I released in 2009 with a music video. And it was for the best rap performance in Sri Lanka. And hope you can see this award.
Right.
This is the award that I won.
Right.
So tell you a little bit about the song. The song was again composed by Ranga Jagoda. It has a superb track, superb melody. And I want to take this opportunity to give a big shout to Radisha Daluatta also, who sang the lovely vocals. She really made the song live and gave a different, sort of a color to the song. So, and also to Vasanta Duggannarala, who wrote the lyrics for the chorus.
Right.
I did the lyrics for the rap verses. And so all these elements coming in, and it was a super song altogether, Channa. And I think that is also one of the songs of mine, which most of the Sri Lankans really loved. And up to date, I get a lot of good comments about the song. Still, people remember the song, even though it was released in 2009. And this song actually went to number 3 position in Rasarisiki Sirasa, because in those days, Sirasa Rasarisiki is one of the popular chart shows in Sri Lanka. And it went really up to the charts to number 3 position. I can remember in number 1 position, it was Kasum Kalhara's one of the songs, and second in Bhatya Santu's, and it was number 3, my song. And it was a really big honor. And receiving an award is a dream come true in 2010.
Right. That song I've been listening to in Spotify. I've been that's my last. I've been singing, humming that song for some time now.
Yeah, it's a very catchy tune. It's a very catchy tune, Channa, and the lyrics also came out really nicely. It is also a song which I wrote about, for about 6 months. Wrote it to perfection. Because in that song also there is a storyline, and it's not just simple words or just a song. Is a very powerful lyrical song, and the music is also very catchy, and it stays in your heart. And I think these are type of songs that will stay for forever.
Right.
Because in rap, there are in Sri Lanka, there are songs that you can remember, but there are many songs that you cannot remember, right? The lyrics, very especially. Now, up to date, I get really good comments. They still remember the lyrics, and even if I see the comments, they comment on the on with the lyrics. I'm so happy and blessed.
Yeah, and I think one thing also is Vasanta Duggannarala has written so many songs for the new artists, right, in Sri Lanka.
Yeah, exactly. He played a pivotal role back in the days. Channa, he wrote many good songs. He's a great guy, great artist. I think he has helped many artists to come through the line. So his powerful and very unique words gave a really good color to the song. And I'm really honored and happy to work with him.
Yeah, and one thing what happened was that.
Can you hear me?
Yes. what happened with the Sri Lankan hip hop songs were that after some time there were a lot of nice songs, artists were coming up, and then it sort of became like people just singing one nums and putting a one num and then saying some rap, and then it became like a joke. I think probably recently, a few years back, that people were really seriously taking the hip hop like genre and then really putting effort. What do you think about the new artists that came up like over the years? That are you listening to the new artists of Sri Lankan hip hop?
Well, Chan, it's like this, I mean, anything in life, there is a bad side, there's a good side, there's a positive, there's a negative. And I mean, I always like to talk about the good side of it.
Yeah.
Because what I really want to say that now the technology is there, because back in the days, if you want to publish a song, all you had was go to a radio station or a TV station. Now that the stage is set or the platform is set to put your content to the market, it's a different ball game altogether. So for the youngsters out there, there's a huge opportunity to come out as an artist. Unlike the days we used to do music back in our golden days, because that's where you have all the energy, Channa. That's in your early 20s, that's where you have all the energy in your life to do it. And now that the opportunity is there, so you really can do it. But it's up to the youngsters to decide on how they are going to do it. Number one, if you want to do a rap song, number one, you have to have certain quality of work that you do in terms of lyrics, in terms of a storyline, in terms of a message to the society, because those are the key elements. Once you figure out those things, you have to have a good style, as you see Eminem style, or Tupac, or 50 Cents. They have all their unique style. Because let's say you have all the lyrical content, but there is no style in it, so that is also key. So you have to figure out all these things, and you have to sit down with a proper composer and do a good quality track. So there are people who does these things in a very serious manner, but there is a set of people who does this just to get the fame, because fame is good, but down the line you have to realize what's your goal is, whether you are going to make a living out of it, or you just want to be popular and famous, right? So I mean, if you want to do this seriously, you have to figure out those things first, your content, your storylines, right? And after that, the trick is how you market this, or put into the audience, or to put into the public channel, because you may have all these things in line, and these are the things we went wrong back in the days, because we really had zero knowledge on these things. You had the content, but you never had the idea to make money out of it, or make a living out of it. So the youngsters, you have to realize all these things. It's a whole process. Being an artist is not enough these days, Channa. You have to think business. You have to, think how you're gonna make something out of this. Yeah, art. Yeah, creativity is good, but there is something above creativity, which will make you sustainable in the industry. So those are the things that which needs to happen in Sri Lanka, which yes, a lot of people are aware of it. A lot of people are going on the right path, but there are people who does not go on the right path also. So those are the things that the youngsters have to realize before, stepping into this.
Right. You put out this sort of a election type video where you're you're a candidate, and then that was a really funny video, but it was a really good song. So can you tell me about what's Surasappa, right? Janata Hata Surasappa.
Yeah, Janatava Hata Surasappa. Well, it was one of the songs I wrote when the lockdown season was on.
Right.
I really got the chance to write something. It's actually, tell you frankly, it's a song that is not finished as yet.
Right.
Because since I didn't have time, I released halfway through. Yeah, it's based on, as you know, there is a lot of political drama happening in Sri Lanka. And, there are, I'm a singer or a songwriter who likes to write about the current context or what is happening around you, most of the songs are written in such a way, Channa, there is a message. That's what makes my songs somewhat unique, because I tend to gather all these things in the society and my experiences and, all the things happening around you, and you compose something. So this is a song that I written when the lockdown was there, and it's a song which is not 100% complete,
Right.
trying to tell you frankly, but I had no option because the election was there, so I had to release. I wanted to release it somehow before that to get that marketing advantage. I wish I had time, to release it about 1 month prior to the election and made a complete song. But with the limited resources, with the limited time, I had to rush it and do it.
Right.
But it it came out real nicely.
Yes. It's really funny also, the video. So
tell you frankly, Channa, we shot the video at home.
Right.
Everything was done at home because there was no huge budget in the song. Song was composed because as you can see, I have a small setup, a home studio kind of a thing.
Right.
So I composed tracks, and this is one of my own tracks which I composed. Janatava Hata Surasappa. Yeah.
Right. So I've been seeing you on Facebook. I also friend of Harsha Fernando, the Parana Rappasala, the old school hip hop, right?
Yeah.
So I really love this Facebook page, because he's been putting out all the old, he's finding these old videos and they're putting out, right? So it's a very nice. So I know you guys are working on something. So can you tell me a little bit about it?
Yeah. Yes. Now, Parana Rappasala has been. It's a new page, Channa, and Harsha Fernando, who's actually behind the page, is doing a tremendous job to give a boost or a publicity to the old school rappers, and I think he's doing a tremendous job out there.
Right.
I think Sri Lanka needs this kind of platforms, because now you don't get much of a space in the mainstreams, like in TV channels. All you see is reality shows.
Right.
Back in our days, there were talk shows, there were chart shows, but you hardly have any time for artists or rappers in the mainstream, even on the radio, on the TV. So whether you like it or not, that's how it is. I mean, it's happening in a different level. The mainstream is out there chasing behind reality shows.
Right.
So opportunity is very less in the mainstream. That's very sad to see. But as you say, there's a lot of positive in the social media. And so Harsha Fernando Parnarappasala is one of the pages who's doing a tremendous job to boost or give popularity to the rappers out there. So big shout out to Harsha. And tell you about the rap cipher. There's a lot of, tell you frankly, there's about 21 rappers coming into this song. And last month we shot the video also for the track. There are artists coming from you must have heard about Naughty Dog, who's overseas. Killer B is there, and there's a bunch of rappers, 21 rappers in the song.
Right.
And I was more than happy to give my contribution to this song. So it's coming out slowly, because even though the music video is shot, most of the rappers is overseas. So I think Harsha is having a bit of a tough time to get those clips, audio tracks, the video tracks to come together and put everything together. So that is a big challenge.
Right.
So hopefully that song will come out very soon.
Yeah, that will be. Yeah, I saw the teaser, the poster that you guys put out. It's really old school. So you have your so you have your music already in Spotify. I saw a couple of songs are in Spotify as Mudiyanse. So what's your upcoming plans? Are you working on new songs? You plan to put out new songs?
Yes, Channa. Now it's a daily process, Channa. I work from I do a job 8 to 5, so that's my main priority. So, but whenever I get time, like these days, you have plenty of time. So that's where the composing happens. Well, I was out of touch for a very long time with my guru or my composer, Ranga Jagoda. So I'm in touch with him, and I'm planning on doing some new tracks with him. He's the one who composed Sihasuna Matha, Mantani and everything. So most of the comments, when you read the comments on YouTube, on Facebook, most of the people want this type of songs. And that's where I contacted Ranga Jagoda again after many years, and he has agreed to compose some songs for me. But it's a slow process, Channa, because I'm not full-time into this. I wish I could be on 100% dedicated to music, but it's a process, so hopefully by next year, there'll be some good music coming out from Mudiyanse, which hopefully I think Ranga will do even a better job with his composing, with all his magic. So, yeah, I mean, it's a 24/7, 365-day process. I work on tracks, I keep on writing, but it's a slow process, Channa.
Right.
But hopefully there'll be good songs in 2021 coming out. Yeah.
I saw you put you have a clip on YouTube. Even your wife is rapping, right?
Yeah, she's my inspiration these days, because she's my number one fan.
Right.
That's a true blessing when you have your wife as your number one fan, who supports you, who pushes you, and who motivates you. It's a true blessing. And I wanted her to do because she always sing when we when we go on trips, when we drive, and we always sing, and she can memorize, or she can remember all my songs. Some of the songs even I cannot remember. So she really has that passion. She really has that passion, she loves music. So that's very wonderful. to have a person behind you who supports you. I mean, it was my mother who supported me when I was very small, and she's my biggest supporter back in the days. But now, getting to a family life, Channa, you have your wife behind you, so it's really great, you know.
So we know what's your
And
message?
I want her to. I want her to do more. Yeah, I wanted her to do more songs.
Right.
I hope you have seen one of the songs she has done. But let's see whether I can convince her to do another song in the future.
Yeah. So, Vinod, what's your message to your people who support you?
Well, I've been doing this for almost, I think, the journey has been very long. And throughout my journey, there are a lot of people who supported me. Like I told you, Channa, Ranga Jagoda was very much instrumental in, molding me to this position. And Vasanta Duggannaral. And I should really thank Radisha Daluwatta. In fact, she sang this song. As you know, Radisha lived in USA, and Radisha is the one who did the vocals for Manthan in Everything. I have to tell you this. And she couldn't speak Sinhalese well, and she could neither read Sinhalese. So when she came to the studio, her mother had to write the lyrics in English for her to sing. She's a very talented singer.
Wow.
So the song was written in English for her to sing those that chorus.
Right.
So I think without her, even that song will not be on top there. You know, it will be just a song, because she gave a total flavor, a different color to this whole song. And
yeah,
big shout, thank you to her as well, and all my family members. They have supported me, my wife, and my employer, who has been there for me, because I have managed to, do my work and without any trouble to continue with my music work as well. So that support has been always there. So what I want to say is that, it's a difficult time for all of us, but let's see the positive side of it. And, because this situation will not last forever, Channa. We will somehow or other come out of it. So you just have to, stick with it, and you have to, fight with it. And fighting is the most crucial part. You have to do your part as people, even very simple things, I mean, so because there's a huge responsibility in our hands at this very crucial ends. I mean, if we don't overcome this, we will not be able to go out there and perform or do musical shows, shoot music videos. So there are a lot of limitations, but there are so much of time that you can spend with your family. And also for the songwriters, they have ample of time to, stay at home and do really creative things. I mean, there is a lot of positive side also.
Right.
So for the young rappers out there, what I want to tell is that, do something really unique. I mean, do not try to copy the things that others are doing. And what I see that, Channa, nowadays, most of the rappers, it's the same song sung in different ways. It's the same lyrics sung in different ways, into different beats. Right. So you really have to come out of that, box, and think out of the box, and, think about, current affairs. There are so many things the rappers can, about a struggle, about the current situation. There are so many things that rappers can, make contains of, about the political situation, or what's happening globally. Black life matters, and so many things that you can do. I mean,
right.
So for them, what I want to say is, do something really creative, do something very unique to yourself, and try to, build with that reputation, try to create your unique style, and, step by step, create on your brand, your identity. So that's what I want to tell to all the young rappers out there.
Right. So so this is a great that I was able to talk to you. As you said, I consider you as one of the OGs of Sri Lankan hip hop.
Thank you, Chandler.
One thing I really loved about your music is when I listen to your songs, I feel that it's a Sri Lankan hip hop song compared to other artists, right?
Exactly.
Because you
That, in fact, that is something that I really want to do in the future. Bring out the Sri Lankan element much as possible. So
right.
let's see how it goes, Chandler.
Right. So keep doing music. We are looking forward to more songs and more content. You're putting out content.
Yeah.
So wish you all the best, Vinod. Stay safe.
And you too, Channa. I mean, I can see that you are also into you are doing a tremendous job in your line of work.
Right.
I know you. I hardly knew you, but after I got to know you, I can see that you are doing something tremendous out there, trying to promote music, and I can see that you are into rock music, and I think that you are also trying to do something really good to the society.
Yeah.
And I wish you all the very best, Channa, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, because I started this podcast as because of the lockdown, because I used to
Okay.
go to a lot of shows and all that, so it all got cancelled. There's no more shows. There's no place to go. That's why I started the podcast, and I started talking to friends first, and then I realized that there were a lot of bands that there's because of the lockdown and the situation, there were a lot of artists and bands, they didn't have any more outlet to put out their ideas or their music, their story.
Yeah.
So after I started talking to several artists, then I started getting so many requests from so many different bands from different countries, like in Europe, even from the US, and also a lot of artists in Sri Lanka, which I really love to talk to, because that's what I grew up with.
I mean, it's great to see that you are doing something that you really love.
Yes.
That's the good thing about it, and I wish you all the very best, Channa.
Okay, Vinod, as you said, stay safe. We'll talk soon when you
You
have
too, man.
when you have a full length album. Thank you.
Okay, stay safe. See you.